we have started performing the challenges, right? We have discussed main parts of it, but there are like 2 to 3 areas to be covered, strategies and the skills required to handle multiple tasks. Then we can move on to the new chapter, handling strategic change. So before that, it's not nice to start directly the point that we need to discuss today, because if you cannot map what are the things that we have discussed so far, then you feel a little bit difficult to capture. In that case, take 2 minutes and quickly go through what are the areas that we have discussed. We have discussed as a leader. So when we are applying these scenarios to that, we call this practical context today. Definitely, the leaders or the managers need to perform multiple tasks, right? So they have to manage time. You have to remember how we can manage the time based on urgency and importance. We have discussed the benefits also. Based on the urgency and importance, we can prioritize the tasks. We cannot create time, we can only manage the time. So then we have to have our own strategies to prioritize the tasks that we have to complete within the given time. So now we'll start. Now we give our focus and attention to here. Just keep the books in arm's length, and all the mobile devices, digital devices, keep where you feel comfortable, right? Pay your attention. So now, if we ask leaders to like, there's always practicality, always be all these scenarios with the places that all are working, right? All of you are working, so it's easy to understand all these things because you can apply these things to the practical context, right? So now it's kind of a point that we need to understand that when we are like in higher position in our career ladder, definitely we have to play multiple tasks, so that we need to conduct multiple tasks. Even now also you are like performing or engaging with multiple tasks with it. The thing is, it's not easy. Important part today, I can say it's not easy, but I just want to confirm by I'm telling it's not easy. Because when it comes to the business context, right? All the organizations are having the profit maximization. Then, so when it comes to the top management, that keeping observation on you as the leader how you're performing. Right? So then you have to show them that you are contributing to the company in a positive manner, and you are supporting the organization to achieve the profit maximization. Right? Then for that, here we need to think how beyond can contribute to this profit maximization by managing multiple tasks. Right? Because when you have to manage multiple tasks, you are getting stressed. Right? And just think about what will happen to the accuracy then, right? So if we consider 8 hours or 9 hours or 10 hours within that particular time frame, you don't have to engage with different tasks. Some tasks are strategic, some tasks are operational, sometimes you don't have to resolve the conflicts also. Those are not strategic though, but still you have to pay your attention to resolve those things also. So those things you kind of avoid. Right? Therefore, always you need to keep in your mind, anyhow, while you're managing the tasks, you need to contribute to the profit maximization, because if you are not going to contribute to the profit maximization, then top management will realize that. So you are not, you are not kind of a value addition to the organization, right? That perception is not a good perception that you can expect from the top management. In that case, you need to have your own strategies to balance these multiple tasks, manage these multiple tasks, right? Basically, before moving on to see what are the strategies that we can use to balance these multiple tasks, to manage multiple tasks, first we'll discuss with you what kind of skills that we need to build in ourselves in order to handle these multiple tasks, right? Skills. Skills and strategies are two things, right? Definitely you all can understand when it comes to the skills, it's like discussing about the abilities. Strategies in the sense, the things that we are practically executing in the work setting. Right? Two things. So then, take 2 minutes and think today. Just forget the picture of these leaders or the managers, right? Just think about yourself. Currently, also, you are handling multiple tasks. Here, now you all are like engaging with the studies, and again, tomorrow onwards, you need to like start the working and in the work organization also you are like engaging with different tasks. Not only that, meantime you all may face some deadlines in terms of the assignments, personal commitments, family commitments, you all are handling multiple tasks. Right? Just forget the leadership, right? Just think about yourself. And think we do like what kind of skills in the sense abilities, like abilities that you need to have in order to handle all these tasks. Think medium skills. These are like we have discussed about some leadership skills also today. If you all can recall the first chapter, we have discussed some leadership skills. So, but here you need to specifically take out skills which are related to manage multiple tasks. එකම වෙලකට ගොඩක් කරන්න තියෙනකොට top management expecting that higher accuracy, productivity from you, right? You need to maintain that accuracy, right? You need to maintain my emotional intelligence levels also, right? You need to complete all the tasks also. You are responsible and you are accountable. I guess you all know the differences between responsibility and accountability, right? So, you need to think about all these things. In order to maintain all these things, what kind of skills that we need to have? Think with you. At least if you are not like sharing with me, take 2-3 minutes and think from your mind. I'm like, okay. So, currently, some skills definitely are with you because otherwise you cannot handle these multiple tasks. And up to some level, probably you may have. That's okay. Like sometimes you may not share with me, but at least from your mind, try to develop answer to this. When it comes to the work setting, like we are working with peer workers or the peer or the co-workers and the colleagues. So the superiors are there, then our assistants or there's an overlevel, right? And other stakeholders also there. We need to manage tasks, parallelly we need to manage all the stakeholders who's in our lives. Stakeholders in the work organization, stakeholders in our personal life. Everything we need to manage. So then we are managing some sort of emotions also. Technical side plus that's emotional side also. So then in order to like think of the difficulty. So in order to handle all this is emotions, then the technical part in the sense is work and other expectations, right? So then what do you think? What kind of skills? I'm not discussing about the strategies, here it's about strategies. Right? What kind of abilities that we need to have? Very good. Like ability wise, it's not a direct like when we are asking the skills with it, usually we are not expecting a skill like time management. We know like we have set of skills in our mind with this communication skills, interpersonal skills, but very good. We need to have an ability. I just like to use the term ability, then you all can understand rather rely on the skills, because you all may think whether this time management is a skill or not. Right? It's a skill because it's an ability that we have. Right? So basically we need to have very good ability in terms of managing time. But that would be last week we discussed about this work prioritization based on the urgency and time, how we can manage the time. So there's something today in society in the sense, this is kind of a proven fact. If we consider our work, right, we are telling like we are busy, right, we have lots of work to do, that is true, yeah, we have lots of work to do, but when it comes to leaders, we are telling we are busy, so I cannot do this. Due to the reason of busy, if we are like telling I cannot do, or we are just rejecting the things, so it's not a good mark for you. It's like even like kind of a bad mark for you, because like if you are successful, if you are a good leader, right? You are not going to tell, you are busy, you are not managing that, because when it comes to the works today, 90% of the works you all can control. Right? Controllable. 10% of the works, yours is uncontrollable. Right? Then you need to understand that we can control 90%, then it's matter of managing time. Here වැඩවලින් 90ක් අපිට කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක අපිට control කරන්න පුළුවන් මට්ටමේ තියෙන දේවල්. 10ක් අපිට control කරන්න බෑ. This is kind of proven fact. Right? So then we have to think about then since 90% of works we can control, how we can manage it. Then it's with this so-called skill, time management. Right? Very good. One skill that we need to have is time management. We need to prioritize the things based on the urgency and importance, and we need to put some deadlines for them, and we need to review the completion rate of them, and basically we need to have good skills in terms of managing time. See, what else? Right, okay. Proper communication, very good. Right? Always put it on you all have different skills that is not sufficient from your end. You need to have own arguments how these skills support you to handle multiple tasks. Right? So now I have explained when it comes to the time management, when we have different things to do within a given time, then based on the prioritization, we can complete it. Right? Then, now she has mentioned another important skill that is true with it, communication skill. Now, critically think how this communication skill support you to handle multiple tasks. And multiple tasks. I have accepted her answers. I have mentioned, I have acknowledged it's clear. We need to have communication skills. Then how we can use this skill, communication skill, to handle multiple tasks? That's how you all have to take with it, right? When it comes to the examination also, like this is kind of practical subject, you all can come up with different answers, but like different questions for them. So some questions, there are like answers, those are the expected answers, but when it comes to the different questions for them, you all can practically think and identify some answers for those questions. There, what I'm looking is the justification. How you are justifying the answer. So the communication skills without any multiple tasks can be done. And that's another skill I will come to communication skill. I'm giving you all to think, right? So there's like when it comes to the delegation, it's also a skill, right? As leaders, we need to be really careful and we need to critically think Alright, okay. So these are strategic things. I have to focus these tasks. But if we consider these tasks, yes, I have to complete within the day, but those are not strategic though. And like I can shift them to another person, one of my subordinates, right? And I can just observe how she is doing. Delegation. From the delegation, you can understand, definitely, it helps you to manage multiple tasks. ඒක theoretical දේවල් direct level තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන් ඒවා. Time management and the delegation skill, right? So those are directly you can understand how it supports you to manage multiple tasks at once. Communication skill. And අපි කියනවානේ like different skills we are in. When it comes to different scenarios, we are telling. But when it comes to the like thinking how these things are supporting everybody, we are struggling. Think that how many communication skills like multiple tasks can be done. So, but when it comes to the once like when we are dedicated to the community, right? We need to properly communicate the information and everything. Exactly by this time you have to complete it. And I have to do it. I would say that we have to properly communicate step by step. Okay, we are dedicated, right? Then we have to mention it, but they have to do in a very structured and very understandable manner. In order to convey these information or the messages, then they need to have with the communication skill. Can you like accept that answer to it? What she's telling is, you have mentioned communication skill, what she's telling is, so she has like considered one scenario when it comes to the delegation of works. Right? When we are delegating as a we put there some more tasks that we have to do. Okay, for our subordinates, then we need to properly communicate the information to them with what they have to do, right? Deadlines and the step-by-step direction we have to provide, right? In order to like give that direction, in order to provide the guidelines, then what she's saying is we need to have proper communication skills. Right? From one hand, yes, we can accept it. Yes, true, good. But about the like, we are handling stakeholders also, right? When we are doing these multiple tasks, we are handling different stakeholders also, right? Customers, the investors, right? Sometimes suppliers, even competitors. Right? So therefore, we have limited time. We have to communicate the things also in very accurate manner. Right? Plus, the thing is that if we don't know to deliver the things to the point, from that we can save time to them. Right? We should able, as a leader, we should able to make our support team understandable regarding this active delivery. අපි කියන දේවල් සම්පූර්ණයෙන් පදන් ක්ලච් කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ට තේරෙන්නේ අපි ආයෙත් කියනවා. Then no point of delegating. From one hand, yes. When it comes to the stakeholders also, when we are keeping communication with them, right? So just imagine if we are like we need to explain them regarding a cut per day or a deadline. It is significance and highlight the deadline, right? In order to convey this message to them, we take 5 or 10 minutes for the that means from our total purpose, we are like allocate 5 to 10 minutes to deliver this. ඒක විනාඩියක් කියන්න පුළුවන් දැන්. හැබැයි අපිට skill එක නැහැ. It's like convey the messages to the point within a limited time. Right? For that also, we need to have communication skills. These are some examples you can further think how these communication skills are supporting us to handle multiple tasks. Write down the subtopic today, skills required to handle multiple tasks. I have not mentioned the skills like problem solving, to solve the problems. Problem solving skills, then the planning skills, right? Right now, one main skill which is required to have is problem solving skills. Problem solving skills, time management skills. Delegation skills. Then put their communication skills. Then planning skills. Skills related to being flexible and adaptable. Skills related to being flexible and adaptable. Just listening to the examination, okay, I'm giving a small scenario and like it is related to handling these multiple tasks. That's it, right? Okay. In the examination, always think about the application part of these things. If I overall skills already practical context again, apply so you have to take something from this, right? Imagine in the examination paper, I have included the question, right? It's based on this handling multiple tasks. Then I have like given there just small scenario, right? So then I'm asking you all the like so kind of 8 marks allocated question. I'm asking, based on this scenario, suggest some skills required to handle multiple tasks as a leader or something like that. Basically, from that, what I'm explaining is these skills, right? And I'm asking you all to explain with the prepared examples. Then you all can take examples from the scenario. Okay, so then tell me like if we consider, I have explained this delegation, time management, then what we call the next one, communication skills. If we consider problem solving skill, right? So then how we are going to explain now this here problem solving skill? It is a very important skill which is required to manage multiple tasks. Then how do you like rationalize? So how do you basically tell due to this reason, this particular skill is important in terms of managing multiple tasks. How you are going to explain problem solving? Just think about the phases that you are working. Right? Think to the home look explain the ඔගොල්ලෝගේ ගොඩක් ඔය ලකුණු මම මාක්ස් එකකින් මට තේරෙන තැන තමයි මොකද ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ පාඩම් වලදී ඔතන තියෙනවා. හැබැයි ඇප්ලිකේෂන් එකේ කරන්නේ ජස්ටිෆයි කරන තැනදී යවලා struggling. That is due to the point to the line. You all are not given that much of time to think critically. මම පොයින්ට් එක කිව්ව කොහොමද ලියාගන්නේ. ටිකක් වෙලාව ගන්න නෑ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අචීව් කරගන්න. දැන් මෙයා මෙහෙම කිව්වට මේක කොහොමද we can use to have multiple tasks. You are not allocating the time to think. So you are going to have a justification for these points. ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ තියෙන පොඩි critical thinking එකක් විදිහට ඔයගොල්ලෝ justification එක ඔයගොල්ලෝ store කරගෙන තියෙනවා exam එකට ආවොත් මට තේරෙනවා you all have the knowledge, not you all have like class talent mention the points, you all have the knowledge here. Talent level එක අනිපාඩම් කරලා ඉන්නේ නෙමෙයි knowledge එක check කරලා දෙන්න I can realize. What was problems in this video means to Robert Punchi, they were not mentioned of and I want to like see how you are critically analyzing these things today. This is not a technical subject, this is a very practical subject. So then from my what I can do is with like මට responsibility එකක් තියෙනවා මම මේ මේක ඔයගොල්ලෝ deliver කරලා එතනින් හරි ඉන්න පුළුවන් but I guess that the industry wants some individuals who are having this critical thinking. ඒක මාන විද්‍යාවට අඩු වෙනවා කියලා විදියට දැනෙනවා. That's why I'm always trying to like asking your link, math and why it's happening, why the question in that side, right? So then what do you think with it? Any idea? Problem solving? And yes, sir.
Again, multiple times we want to be able to satisfy everyone the way they expect. So at that time, to confirm them, like this is what will happen. It's possible we have to do forward and convince them and contracts, but then I'm the best practice.
The one answer, if you forget the strategic part, like if you consider the managing the stakeholders, in order to keep them satisfied. So we need to have good decision make problem solving skills, because when we are solving the problems, we need to consider all the involved parties. So then we have to like make them satisfied. If a party if they are getting dissatisfied, but then they are not contributing to the relevant task in a kind of expected manner. Yes, we do. If we forget the strategic part, just okay, have a strategy, but it's more towards this handling the parties by involving with these issues of the task. But yes. Just imagine how we are going to explain this point in the examination. We are going to write down this thing. So it support to handle multiple tasks in this regular mode examination. I will just be relaxed with relaxation. Itan I don't know what it is. For example, how you will give the dance. So if you are only writing the skill, like if I allocate 2 marks for the explanation and the skill, you will receive only 1 mark. Sometimes half a mark. Problem solving. Always think like this is something you all have to critically think. Now I have mentioned it. So this is kind of a stressful thing or a kind of very strategic things, this handling multiple tasks, because we have limited time. Then when it comes to the problem solving today or like sorting out the issues, again putting this time factor is definitely creating an impact. Right? In the current environment today, right? again and again I'm telling this environment is rapidly changing, it's dynamic. Right? There are like some situations where we cannot allocate much of time to solve the problem. Right? Within a short period, okay, Samadhi without we need to give quick, we need to make quick decisions and we need to solve some issues, right? In order to like provide answers to this context. If we don't have the problem solving skills it's like coming with our skills related to the thinking or the critical thinking, right? So the pragmatism is the sense how we are behaving in the fact, right? How we are practically behaving, how we are handling the things practically, pragmatism. Right? Systematic වෙන්නතු අවශ්‍ය කරන technique පොඩක් එන්නේ කියලා practical විදියට කොහොමද handle කරන්නේ pragmatism. All these things are involving with the so-called problem solving, right? So then if we have good problem solving skills with it, right? Within a shorter period, within the given time, we can make quick decisions and we can quickly solve those issues. වෙලාවත් technical එක ඔයගොල්ලෝ link කරගන්න ඕනේ වෙයි. Alright, okay, multiple tasks. We need to do all this stuff within the given time. Then it's a game of managing time. And then how this problem solving link with the time management. Time. If problem solve we can save the time and we can allocate that saved time for another task. Right? That's how you all have to rationally work. You need to develop your own arguments to understand these skills and anything. Right? Put a small remark with the examination can be tested by maximum 4 to 6 marks. I may give a scenario and at the end, I may ask a question related to this area, skills related to multiple tasks, but maximum 4 to 6 marks. Then before moving on to the last part, let's go through this list. This is easy to understand. Here it's about strategies that we can apply in work setting to manage multiple tasks, right? I have divided all these strategies to 3 organizational in the sense organizing. Right? Take product, it's a mistake with it. It's, you need to mention it as organizing strategies, then the delegation and collaboration strategies, and self-care and stress management strategies. Carefully read and write down any 2 out of all these categories. First read video. If there is any point that you cannot understand, ask for me. That's not this to explain like. ඔයගොල්ලෝ එන්න මුල්ම දෙක ලියන්න. Write down subtopic strategies to handle multiple tasks. Strategies to handle multiple tasks. The first one with them mention it as organizing strategies instead of organizing strategies. So they productively use the time here, may take something from this for your examination. Then me after you put it in ඒ නිසා කියවන මුලින්ම ඔළුවට යන දෙක ලියාගන්න. Don't write the first two. But the first one would create a masterpiece in the sense made. We are just writing the task, then only we are prioritizing it. Creating a list. Basically, it's about like mentioning all the tasks. We are like mentioning the scope of the task. Therefore, in the organizing strategy is create a master list. It's a strategy. It's not a skill. All these are strategies with it. So without like identifying the task that we have to do with it, then we cannot prioritize them. First, we need to identify what we have to do. We are not going to prioritize the task in the master list. We are just identifying the task that we have to do with their scopes. All these are strategies, not the skills. Be careful, right? Strategies related to organizing. Strategies related to delegation and collaboration. Strategies related to self-care practices and managing stress. Keep that with you. So, for example, it's saying about the self-care and stress management. Under the self-care and stress management, you can find a point called take regular breaks. Then you need to think how this particular strategy support you to handle multiple tasks. Right? When we are taking regular breaks, we are getting refreshed and we can keep our concentration on what we are doing. When we are keeping concentration, then we can quickly complete the task. When we can quickly complete the task, we can save the time. Then we can allocate that saved time to engage with the other tasks. So that's how you have to think. Are you okay with it? I will give 1 minute quickly to start. So we are in the chapter performing under pressure. Right? So this handling multiple tasks is one part of that area. So where are we? Always you need to map. You understand? If you want to manage the pressure and if you want to complete all the tasks successfully under the pressure, we need to have our own skills and strategies to manage the multiple tasks. Then only we can perform under pressure. We want to take the area and multiple tasks in this chapter. Then okay, but no clear attention. So that's something called leadership development process. Right? This is the last area of this performing under pressure. I will move on to the slide later on, such I will explain the content of this area. There's something called leadership development process. Right? When we are developing when we are in the process of being a leader, becoming a leader, we need to follow a process to this. Phase by phase or step by step process. Right? Leadership development process. As a leader, how we are developing step by step. The first level of leadership development is with there. There are 4 levels, right? First level is with there. We need to lead ourselves, or you need to lead yourself. That is the first thing. Before moving on to lead others, first you need to have an ability to lead yourself. Right? That is the first phase. Then for the second phase is leading a group, then leading a department, HODs, right? So then leading an organization, the CEO and the chairman level. Right? The 4 levels. Leading yourself, leading a team, leading a department, right? Then leading an organization. Then, when we want to lead ourselves today, first we need to understand what are the strengths and what are the weaknesses that we have in order to perform as leader. That is one question that we need to provide answers. Right? If you want to become a successful leader today, all of our work in so probably what we are expecting is we are expecting to climb in our career ladder and we need to reach some position. Most of you may have different expectations and objectives, right? Some of you may have to become objective to become a CFO, right? CEO, right? So in that way, you all have dreams. All those are leadership roles within. So then the starting point is first you need to lead yourself. Right? You need to think whether you are able or you have the ability to lead yourself. In order to do that, in order to understand that, you need to first have a clear idea about your strengths and the weaknesses. Then, if you want to understand our strengths and weaknesses, we need to conduct, I guess you all know about this SWOT analysis, right? Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and then that particular same framework we can apply to understand our own strengths and weaknesses. We are usually conducting the SWOT analysis for the organization in order to understand the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right, of an organization. We are conducting the SWOT analysis. But here, it's the same framework. We can apply for ourselves also. Right? That framework we can name as personal SWOT analysis. Then we have to think. You all have to think why I am delivering this leadership development process and personal SWOT analysis in this chapter, or under this chapter called performing under challenges. Okay, always I'm taking you all to the track. Now I have completed the skills and the strategies related to multiple tasks, and then I'm delivering something related to leadership development and personal SWOT analysis. I have explained the link between the personal SWOT analysis and the leadership development process, right? But then we need to understand why we need to conduct this personal SWOT analysis and why we need to discuss this area under performing under challenges. Performing under challenges and this personal SWOT analysis. In the personal SWOT analysis, what we do, we are identifying the strengths, we are identifying weaknesses in ourselves. So what we need, why we need to do this kind of analysis, right? If we want to perform under challenges. In the organizations, when you are in the process of becoming a leader, right? Definitely, we have to face challenges. We have to conduct our responsibilities, our tasks under pressure, right? We need to handle all these multiple tasks at once. Right? So then, why we need to understand this so-called, or why we need to conduct this personal SWOT analysis? That is the benefit of it. Any idea? Basically, what I'm asking, if I simply put into the words with there, again, the benefit of personal SWOT analysis to perform under pressure. In personal SWOT analysis, what we do, we identify the strengths and the weaknesses. So that's okay. You don't need to tell the answer. At least think. Alright, okay. From the SWOT analysis, we can identify our own strengths, our own weaknesses. Once we identify these strengths and weaknesses, we can take necessary actions to overcome the weaknesses, further improve the strengths, and then those strategies will help you to perform under challenges. At least from your mind, just have an answer for this, right? So let me take out to the side. That's a small activity to be conducted. First, write down a subtopic, leadership development process. Before the break, we will do the activity and then we wind up. Then after the break, we will start the next chapter. Leadership development process. Write on these four steps for the leading yourself, then leading others, team, leading a department, and leading an organization. And then underline leading yourself. Highlight or underline leading yourself. Then I will explain. So it should be leading an organization. The last one to get thank you for showing it. It should be a leading. Instead of pen to the just use the letter D, leading, not leading. Leading. Write down to that. When we are performing under pressure, after the 4 stages, look at write down this small para. When we are performing under pressure, it is required to It is required. Properly drive, properly drive, properly drive, drive, properly drive ourselves, properly drive ourselves to achieve the expected outcomes productively. In order to lead or drive, in order to lead or drive ourselves we need to have a clear picture about our weaknesses and strengths. It is advisable to conduct a personal SWOT analysis. Underline personal SWOT analysis. Personal SWOT analysis to clearly identify existing strengths which are required to further improve the mark. Weaknesses to overcome. Opportunities to capture. And to address the threats and address the threats. Then we'll write on subtopic personal SWOT analysis. You all need to do, okay, you all need to conduct two personal SWOT analysis. One is, first of all, you need to conduct the personal SWOT analysis for your life. Basically, we are doing personal SWOT analysis for ourselves. First one is identify general SWOT factors related to yourself. And the second one, identify special SWOT factors related to leadership skill that you have. Okay, you can combine and do it as one. Right? Basically, discuss the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that you all have. Again, for the dual genuine thing, allocate the maximum 10 minutes and clearly identify. So, if you want to become a leader, right, definitely, just locate the leader in order to work under pressure, perform under pressure, we need to first drive ourselves. So, when we are in the process of driving, directing ourselves, we need to understand our weaknesses, our strengths, opportunities, and threats. Again, do a genuine work. Strengths that you have, weaknesses that you have, opportunities which are existing in the environment for you, and the threats. Always think about performing under pressure. You have to do multiple tasks, right? You are in a stressful condition. You have kind of pressure. Think all these things and identify the patterns. In the examination, I will give a small or a mini case study, and there I may discuss some personal characteristics and some environmental factors related to a personality or a person. And I may ask you to conduct a personal SWOT analysis for that particular person. For example, some of you are patients, you all have high level of patience. Then it's a kind of a strength. When we are like performing under pressure, right? When we have to handle multiple tasks, it's one step. I'm going to individual check your answers today, but just practice this because when it comes to the examination and the real world, basically, like if you consider ourselves to the First, we need to understand what are the strengths, weaknesses that we have if we want to become a successful leader. As well as for the examination purpose, I may give a mini case study, right? And I may explain some characteristics related to a person, and I will explain some environmental factors, and I may ask you to conduct the personal SWOT analysis to then the different person. මේ activity එකේ take home එක වෙන්නවනේ වාගේ personal life එකට මොකක් හරි දෙයක් ගන්න එක. If you want to become a leader, right? For the examination purpose, that kind of thing was there. Leader can come at least you all have dreams to become. You all may have dreams to become CFO, CEO, to become your own company, to become an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs are also leaders. Then you need to understand your strengths and the weaknesses. I don't think that. So, if you all have finished, you all can take a break. After the break, we'll start the new chapter. And leading strategy stage. You all can take a break. After the break, we will start the new chapter. For the online students, I have given them the break, right? Online students in the sense the students who have joined via online platform for the, you all also can take the break. After the break, we will start the new chapter, handling or leading strategic change. Right, okay, Mate. So we'll continue. Chapter number 4. This is about handling or leading strategic change. Right? First, we will see what is the strategic change. Meaning of the strategic change. Other systems have changes and from your experience, just analyze and check it whether the change is a strategic change or not. We'll see what is the meaning of strategic change. Right? Everybody now, pay your attention, please. As you can see, it's about leading or handling this strategic change. Okay, as a leader, how we can lead or handle the changes, specifically strategic changes, right? So then, in the whiteboard today, I have written 5 changes. Critically think and tell me whether the first change or first initiative or first basically change is a strategic change or not. The second one, whether it's a strategic change or not. Last row, there. Last row, please. Then third one, whether it's a strategic change or not. Both and fifth. Just think and write down in your book when you write down. If you write down this sentence, use a pencil or even pen and mention whether it's a strategic change or not. I just need to see whether you all have the idea of a strategic changes. Still, I have not explained what is a strategic change, right? Before that, I'm checking whether you all have an understanding to identify changes as strategic or non-strategic. First one would be extending the maturity stage of a business organization to a growing stage. Second one, changing the layout of workplace facility. Third one, adjusting working hours to 9 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Changing the market segment, that is fourth one. And the fifth one, amending some organizational policies, HR policies. Just assume HR policies. Strategic or not? Still, I have not explained what is the strategic change. Intervention changes are strategic or not? I have not given an explanation to it. But the difficult just imagine it's about amending some organizational policies. Just consider it as amending the policy related to dress code, dress code policy. Dress code policy. Right, okay. First one today, Extending the maturity. You all know the business life cycle. Okay, introduction, then growth, maturity, then declining, right? So what it's saying is extending the maturity state again to the growing stage without like allowing it to move on to the declining stage, right? It can be happen like if they are introducing a new product, right? If they extend the existing product portfolio, right? So then strategic or non-strategic. What do you mean strategic change? That can be only two answers, right? Then ordering is non-strategic. Just with the strategy. Then second one, changing the layout of workplace facility. So they are changing the tables and basically they are changing the interface of the facility. Strategic or non-strategic? What do you mean strategic? What do you mean non-strategic? Yes, okay. It's non-strategic. Still, I am not explaining how we can define whether a change is a strategic or not. I'm still checking whether you all have the sufficient knowledge to recognize the changes and strategic and the non-strategic, right? Then the third one, adjusting work hours from 9 a.m. to 5:30. Previously, let's assume the working hours were from like 8:30 to 5. Now it's from 9 to 5:30. Strategic or non-strategic? Non-strategic. Okay, good. Then changing the market segment. Totally like they are moving on to another market segment. Strategic, right? Then amending some organizational policies, specifically I have mentioned dress code policy. Non-strategic or strategic? It's non-strategic. Now I can say that you all have kind of idea about these strategic changes, right? Simply put it, in order to recognize any change as a strategic change, there should be a significant transformation with it, right? Significant transformation to what? Significant transformation in relation to their objectives, right? Their targets, their strategies. There should be significant effect towards their objectives, towards their strategies. If any kind of a change can create a significant transformation or a significant impact towards the organizational objectives, right? Towards the organizational existing strategies, then it's a strategic change with it. Right? For example, today, if we consider this change in the market segment, you all have mentioned it as a strategic change. Yes, it's true. Because then definitely they have to change the strategy. Plus, there can be a significant organizational transformation. It can be a favorable transformation. It can be unfavorable transformation. Anyhow, it's a significant transformation. Right? Sometimes they may have to change the targets, KPIs, objectives. Along with that, they have to change the strategies. Right? Significant transformation. Then, just think of the leaders. I have mentioned that there can be favorable transformation, there can be unfavorable transformation. But in order to consider a leader as a successful leader today, we need to handle these changes, strategic changes, and we need to deliver favorable outcomes to the organization. Right? If we are going to generate unfavorable outcomes, that means at the end we cannot take the label called the successful leader. Then we are not becoming transformational leaders. Right? So, let me show you all the explanation of this strategic change and all. Read this. Give me 1 second. Read the slide. Let me share it with you. It's explaining what is the strategic change. You are thinking it's like kind of a very easy thing to handle these changes. Just consider your organizations, right? And just think they are going to change the dress code policy. Right? It's not a strategic, it's not a significant change. Right? But it's not easy. Definitely there can be different, like some employees may show they are resistant to that particular change, right? Even though like it's from that particular change, they are expecting more professionalism. Right? But still, some employees may show they are resistant to it because as individuals, we are really reluctant to shift from our comfortable zone to another state. It's kind of something infield. Right? In that case, the change management is really complex in organizations, so the leaders have to drive that, right? Just imagine the strategic changes, right? In order to do operational level change with it, we have to consider lots of things and we need to face different challenges. Then, if it is a strategic change with it, the complexity definitely is significant. It's not easy. Because changes again would always linked with the emotions of the stakeholders. ඒක එතන අමාරු වෙන්නේ. change එකට යනවා කියන තැනදීම ඒ change එකට affect වෙන stakeholders ගේ emotions එක affected. Then it's not easy. Right? Change management is something linked with emotions management also. Right? Then I will move on to those areas later on, these change management aspects. First, just think to the right as a leader. If you want to write take strategy changes, I will stick to these examples with it. For an example, like if the organization need to change the market segment, right? First, they understood that they need to change the market segment. That's why they're changing the market segment. They have identified that's a requirement. So if we are going to stay with this market segment, then we cannot try again like improve our market share. It's better to shift into another market segment. So in that way, they have decided and then on they're like moving on to another market segment. Right? Then how we can understand whether yes, there's a change requirement here, like how we can understand as leaders, as managers, when we are working in the organizations. Right? You all may work for some audit firms. Some of you all may work for non-audit firms, right? So think as an organization, how we can understand, yes, we need to change. It's a kind of a high time. Yes, we need to take necessary actions to change these policies, change the strategies, and how we can understand this. How we can identify the change requirements. Yes, we need to change. How we can understand. How you can understand. Simply think, if you want to change, right? If you want to change some practices, right? Some personality traits, How we are going to change it? Then we will come into the corporate sector, there is practical context, practical context in the sense where these work organizations. Basically, think how you can understand the change requirements if you want to change some personal qualities or the personal traits or some practices, some behaviors. How you can understand, how you can identify the basically this change requirement. How we can understand with it, like if you want to change it, you want to change, how you can understand, yes, I need to change this quality from what? So we are like thinking whether our existing characteristics are supporting us to go with the identified objectives. That is supporting. Huh? Okay. It makes sense to the yes. Think further. How you can understand the like you have understood here in order to align your characteristics with objectives, you need to change some characteristics. So how you have understood that okay? Again, very logical thing that. So how you have understood, yes, I need to change in order to align my characteristics with God. If the company wants to change their strategies, how they can understand the requirement change requirement? If there is no information, there is stagnating in the kind of plan position. Yes. Good. You are not telling to the reason. That is true. So when we feel that okay, we are still the same revenue, whatever, or the market share, they are moving growth, okay. So then we feel that then that would be some kind of a change. That is true with it. How we understand the reason. If they got it, stagnate වෙලා තියෙන්නේ කියන එක. From our skills. Alright, okay. So by applying the skills, we have like understood that from the basically using critical thinking, right? So like observational skills, yes, we have understood that there is stagnation. Alright, we have performing in the same level for all the periods, right? And Sandra, you are taking research today. Yes, today. Very good. What kind of analyst? That's it, like she's you have to mention the name. Here's me. Yes. She has used some strength to analyze. Basically, what we analyze, that is what they analyze. Like he is moving to the answer, but he is telling me is from the analysis, we can understand the requirements. That is when we are analyzing what's happening, what's going on, what are the existing characteristics, right? Status of the organization, analysis. From the analysis, basically based on the analysis, we can understand. What we analyze. Very good. For example, differently says when we feel that okay, gradually our sales values are declining, we analyze, right? These sales are existing in there. What do you feel that way? We have a skills and a program එක දැන් ස්ටැග්නේට් වෙලා ඉන්න එක වෙන්න පුළුවන් අපේ තියෙන goals එක align කරනදී අපි තේරුම් ගන්න like what we need to analyze basically. Market. For some cases, yes, okay, market we are like market analysis very easy to like if we want to change our practices, our behaviors, we are analyzing, we are comparing with it. Our requirements, like basically we are analyzing our weaknesses, our what we want to have. Very good. All these things, the things that you all have mentioned, all these things are existing in the environment, the surrounding. Right? අපි අපිව compare කරන්නේ තත්ත්වයක් දිහා බලලා ඒ තියෙන in the environment. Right? When it comes to the organizations today, we are like, if we are finding our these sales values are declining, but then the sales also, the so-called sales also existing in the business environment. And we are defining business environment is all the related parties, all the factors which are existing in the internal and external environment. Right? Basically today, if you want to become a successful leader, you need to have a thorough knowledge about the business environment, what's happening in the business environment. Right? So you need to be updated. You need to have a very good knowledge. So what's happening in the environment, not only the external environment, even in the internal environment. So now I will move on to some technical areas today. You all have learned all these things. We'll quickly refresh. Business environment, all the related factors which can create an impact to the organization, to the we are like referring as the business environment. Not only that, those factors are getting impacted from the business operations also. The two-way process, right? Then basically this environment can be categorized into two. As I explained, internal business environment and the external business environment. Then again this external business environment we can categorize into first year management. First year management fundamentals. Internal, external, right? Then external environment into again yes. Again, external environment we can categorize into two: micro, macro, or else general. Right? So when it comes to the internal environment today, organizational culture, okay, the hidden aspects of the culture, even the visible factors, all these things are existing in the internal environment. Then physical resources, employees, right? So owners, all of them are in the internal environment. Then where we can locate these suppliers, customers, competitors with it. In the external, specifically in which category? Micro or macro? Task or general? So when we are doing it, what if you take it in oil, what I can Colombo enough to put the factor together, take up right. So while I is here, I have moved to there. Mama Barano, Colombo, how to get the day. Maybe I am not getting another how to pull on power. I got the mindfulness super. So then tell me whether right, it's micro. Then if we consider this external factors, political, economic, social, legal, environment, these factors where we can locate. Definitely it's macro or the general environment. Right? So then it's about this business environment. I'm not going to give any note, but without explaining this basic things, I cannot move first. Then now we know we have mainly two environments, internal and external. So this is the important point. I have highlighted that as leaders we need to analyze the environment and we need to have insights and we need to have important data in our hand in order to make decisions. Right? Then, what do you think today? This, I guess you all know about this SWOT analysis, tester, right? Holders, fight forces. You all have learned these things for the McKinsey in 7 days. Can you remember? right? And in management fundamentals, probably you all have learned this. Right? Then, if we consider, I will start with SWOT analysis, right? Because it's familiar to you all. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. It's an analytical framework today. There, what we do is we are identifying strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So we are analyzing. The surface level analysis we can conduct through this SWOT analysis. Right? Then, whether this analytical framework, I will change the question. In order to let me explain other few words, then I will ask where we can use those analytical tools. In order to analyze which environment, we can use those analytical tools. Then pest analysis, you know, it's about this political, economic, social, technological, and environmental and legal. Right? So then, there's another framework called the Porter's five forces. Right? That particular framework we use to analyze which environment. Porter's five forces. Definitely, you already tell Hester, it's to analyze the general or the external environment, specifically general environment, macro environment. The environment which we cannot control because of these political factors, economic factors, inflation rate, we cannot change it, right? Foreign exchange rates, no, right? Uncontrolled. Then, I'm like asking about Porter's five forces. Very good. We are using it to analyze microenvironment too. Right? It's analyzing what could be. Yes, there are five forces, right? We are analyzing what. So what we use this to analyze through micro, specifically what could be. Very good. Yeah, and we are using this Porter's five forces to analyze the competition today. Right? That means we are like analyzing the behavior of the competitors. Can you recall the five forces that we are like including in this Porter's five forces? What are the five forces today? Porter's five forces? Threats or co-crop substitutes, like an addition, substitutes, right? Then threat from yesterday. Very good. Threats or threats from new entrants. Other than any nine, just good. Then threats of rivalries by the existing competitors who are already in the market. Not the new entrants, they are already in the market. Existing competitors. Then you all have learned another course with it, bargaining power of customers. Then another course, bargaining power of suppliers. Those are the five courses, right? Then we raise some questions. Analyze and then no need to go with the individual analysis, just think and tell. If there are, right, significant number of suppliers, right? If there are significant number of suppliers, what would happen to the competition? We are considering it as one of the main forces which create an impact towards the competition. Bargaining power of suppliers. Right? Then what I'm asking is, if there are significant number of suppliers in the market, right? In the apparel sector, there are significant number of, let's assume, fabric suppliers, right? Then you have to think about the bargaining power. And think what will happen to the competition at the end. That is considering organization called A. We are analyzing the competition. For that, we are using Porter's 5 principles. Now we are analyzing the bargaining power of suppliers. The condition is there are lots of suppliers, right? Number of suppliers in the market. Next, I am asking, what will happen? What is the impact towards the competition? Competition increasing or decreasing, or whether it's favorable towards the competition or unfavorable to the competition. Favorable can competition is unfavorable can competition is better. There are number of suppliers in the market. Think it. The potency hypothesis chemical is down color, but not you are not thinking it. In order to understand the change requirement, you all need to understand these things. Then there are also suppliers. Other situation, then there are also suppliers in the market. Simple name. Considering organization today. Right? Yeah, just assessing the organization is the other industry. Right? A. Right? And that organization now evaluating to analyze the competition today. When we are analyzing the competition, we can use this so-called framework with the border fighters. Then what we do, we are analyzing each post. So now we are analyzing the core bargaining power of supply. Right? So then what I'm asking is, organization, like this organization has recognized that there are several suppliers in the market. There are lots of suppliers, right? But I'm asking is whether it's a favorable supplements competition or not. Favorable or unfavorable? Competition increase favorable, competition decrease favorable. Favorable or unfavorable? I'm going to ask the food and rather get something. Industry says that we will be able to make a house there. I will put it. Yeah, but it's not launching. Why? So it happens like this with it, right? These are the points that you all have to critically change, right? So in leadership, in skills in leadership, I don't I explain all this, but actually I'm expecting kind of at least if I contribute to like improve one of your cognitive abilities, then it's something for me, right? So in order to improve your cognitive abilities with it. Then what I have mentioned, the organization is into an organization. That organization is analyzing the competition. When they are analyzing the competition, they have used these codes as proposal. So now they are analyzing the post-code bargaining power of suppliers. I have mentioned that the market condition is there are lots of suppliers. Right? Think for this, when there are like lots of fabric suppliers, right? The organization has the power to negotiate the prices today. අපිට කතා කරන්නේ ගොඩක් සප්ලයිස් වෙනවානේ. අපිට තියෙන competition තියෙන supply අපිට අඩු. It's favorable for us, right? We can ask, so it's comparatively high, so then we can request the supplier to reduce the price. If not, we have another alternative. We can shift it to another supplier, right? So competition is less for them. And there are lots of suppliers. But think other thing, if there are only two suppliers, so one supplier, monopoly. You all know the economy, different types of economies, like if it is the monopolistic economy, right? There are only one supplier. There's no option for them. The competition is really high. We cannot negotiate the price. We have to work and like that given price for them. We cannot further negotiate. Can you understand? Right? Then, when there are lots of suppliers in the market, it's favorable towards the considering organizations competition. That means competition is decreasing or increasing. Okay, next. When there are lots of customers in the market. So there are lots of consumers in the market. What will happen to the competition? Now we are analyzing the bargaining power of customers. The organization consider the same organization, government manufacturing, right? So they have local clients, foreign customers, European region in like USA. So there are like different clients, customers. Yeah, they have lots of customers. Favorable or unfavorable towards the competition. Think about what will happen with the bargaining power of customers. So here we analyze the bargaining power of customers. That is a customers. That's the document stage there. What element is favorable to the competition? When there are customers, What do you think? It's favorable or not favorable? What's the time today? 7:45. So 10:45. Okay, I will write. Finish these analytical frameworks, then we can discuss the other parts when it comes to the online session. Next week, Saturday, you don't have lectures, okay? Online, Tuesday, then it's from 7:30 to 9. Who are telling it's favorable to the competition? Yeah, what do you mean? I think it's favorable. Then unfavorable?
Is that company? One company implement.
One company in Sri Lanka is customer. So the customers. Here we are considering about the bargaining power of customers. Right? The considering organization is that we are an apparel manufacturing organization. Right? So we have lots of customers. Not only one. Right? Then you need to analyze the bargaining power of customers. Your customers. When they are like requesting you to change the price, are you liable to change or like definitely do you need to change it or not? Simply to say something like this. When there are lots of customers in the market, it's favorable. Favorable in the sense there's no any negative impact, no any. That the impact towards the competition is less. Right? Favorable. Then බලන්න හිත ඒකයි නිකුත් you all have to think. When there are lots of customers today, like what will happen? If we want to increase the price, as the company, we are increasing, right? And one of our customers requesting us to change the price, right? But all the customers are willing to purchase the items at that particular price. Then do we need to change? Because we have lots of alternatives. If we not take it, then we can move on to another customer. We have plenty of customers. Capacity is not the issue. Right? If you have a price cut to run on they are looking at the water. Up here, you have to run it. And it's like how to run it. So they are working like a look forward to them. We have another potential market. Right? Then it's favorable. Right? That means it's like decreases the competition. Okay? So next pose. I'm not going to ask when there are lots of rivalries in the market, definitely it's unfavorable to the competition. Increasing, not going to pass in that. Then substitute down. This is very carefully. Substitutes also today I'm not going to check. Definitely you all can tell when there are a lot of substitutes, it's unfavorable. Right? So if we consider tea, substitute coffee. When there are also coffee suppliers, coffee manufacturers today, it's an unfavorable factor towards the competition wide, it's unfavorable factor towards the tea manufacturers. Right? Substitutes. When there are lots of substitutes in the organization in the market, then it's unfavorable towards the competition of the considering organization. It's understandable. This one. The last factor, right? Bargaining power of not the bargaining, set of new races. Okay, you all have to analyze the cost code threats of hope from new entrants. When there are lots of entry barriers in the market, you have recognized as the considering organism. Where invention you are already in the market. You are analyzing the competition. Right? So then you understood that there are lots of small entry barriers in the market. Right? So then what will happen to the check the new entrants, whether it's kind of a favorable factor towards the competition or unfavorable factor towards competition. That particular factor you can understand. Yes, it's favorable because when there are strong entry barriers in the market, then new entrants feel difficult to enter the market. Right? So then, when there are less new entrants, it's favorable towards the competition. Right? Good. So then it's about Porter's five forces. So this Porter's five forces framework we can use to analyze the external environment, specifically micro, specified term in order to analyze the competition. Right? Then there are another two frameworks that we are going to learn. I'm not going to start those areas because we don't have sufficient time. Value chain analysis, right? Value chain analysis. And the McKinsey 7S, it's not kind of a new thing to you all. You all have learned that. 7S selling strategies, skills, shared values, mathematical. No, McKinsey 7S, the kind of tool that we can use to analyze the internal environment today. All those 7 factors are existing in the internal environment. All the factors also starting with 7. Not 7S. That's why it's McKinsey 7S. All the terms or all the factors are starting with letter S. That's why it's McKinsey 7S. Can you remember? Strategy, shared value, skill, staff. This is the McKinsey 7S. What do you remember with it? No?
Yeah.
Only certain tests there. Porter psychosis also there. Alright, okay. So then here for the structure in the organizational structure. Basically, this is kind of a framework or analytical tool that we can use to analyze the internal business environment. Not to analyze external business environment, internal business environment, because all these factors are existing in the internal business environment. Skill, that means the skills related to employees. Style, it's about leadership style. Then here systems in the sense, different HR systems, then different production systems, internal systems. Then structure in the sense organizational structure, whether it's a metric structure, whether it's a functional structure, project structure, organizational structure. Basically, you all know this tall and flat structures. Then organizational strategies. Strategies to achieve the objectives. Then shared values, right? The values of the organization. Yes, basically, these are the 7 days to the day. All these are in the internal environment. If we are making analyze like we can analyze the internal environment. What are the things existing in the inside of the organization? Right? Then we can have an idea about the internal environment. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Then other two frameworks are, I'm not going to in detail discuss them. I know that we don't have time. That's small activity also. We can do it next week. This resource-based view and the value chain analysis. I guess these two frameworks are with you all. Right? You all have not learned it. Leadership with it. Take a pocket. There can be only 46 signatures today. In both in text, exception and 16 DBA. So, no look at it. Give me like 2 to 3 minutes, right? Other two frameworks that we are going to discuss, value chain analysis and resource-based view, are related to internal environment. Both tools we can use to analyze the internal environment. Quickly, Udesh, I will have a small summary of these analytical frameworks. I will show where we can use these frameworks. Write down the chapter name and write down the subtopic, environmental analysis. You all can have this summary. But then you all can have this summary. If you have this summary. Internal environmental analytical tools with their SWOT analysis, especially strengths and weaknesses, right? Because strengths and weaknesses are only the factors which are existing in the internal environment. Then resource-based view, value chain analysis, McKinsey's 7S, Porter's 5 forces. For the external, especially microenvironment, external macro, pestle and SWOT. From the SWOT also opportunities and threats, not the strengths and weaknesses. I don't give the test again after finish. I do it. So everybody with this, we can wind up the session. Take Sunday today. 1 minute. Pay attention. Last 2 minutes. Pay attention, please. Last week you all do not have lecture. Last week too. Next week you all do not have lecture. Sunday. But again we are meeting Tuesday from 7:30 to 9:30 by online. Right? So then for the next month I will give the schedule. Right? Okay, today thank you. See you all next Tuesday, not this coming Tuesday, next Tuesday. Thank you. But the students who have joined via online, I have given them some notes, but I have given them some short notes or kind of summary. So then ask from them and maintain your notes. I cannot hear you all properly because now they are leaving. So if you want to clarify anything, just ask from me. You can contact me and check the clarification. So basically, in terms of the notes today, just ask the notes from your colleagues who attended to the today's lecture and maintain the proper notes. Okay, thank you.